Good morning and welcome to Morning Moments. We have another special guest today. We have a award-winning actress, producer, and director, uh, Anita Cordell, and from the beautiful Kansas City area. Welcome, Anita. Thank you for joining me for Morning Moments.
Well, thank you for having me. This is exciting.
Tell us a little bit about what you do far as a career, acting, directing, producing, and how you got into it, and a little bit about yourself, please.
Yeah, so I'm primarily an actress, and I also do other parts behind the scene as well, doing production work and a little bit of directing. And then I'm actually also working wardrobe coordinator for a TV series for 2 episodes here coming up. So I'm super excited about just all the doors that God's opening up for me. How I got started really is I didn't have one of those moments where you have that pivotal moment where you say, oh, I want to be an actor. In fact, the exact opposite. I'm a preacher's kid. And so growing up, we would be handed the microphone often. And my dad would say, hey, why don't you pray or sing a song or testify or, do this or do that or whatever. And actually, to be honest with you, I am an introvert. And so growing up, it was something that I don't remember it ever really feeling overtly comfortable, if that makes sense. It was what we did and it was what was expected, but it wasn't something that I was overtly natural at. My younger sister, she's a very bubbly lady, and just it was always seemed so natural for her. And I remember kind of sitting on the sidelines just watching her and kind of not really a fly on the wall, but she was always the spotlight kind of person. And so I didn't really do a whole lot. I directed my first play as a senior, but then after that, I got out of it. And then I had a little 5-year-old girl, and we started going to this church with a mega Christmas production, about 150 to 200 cast members. And I signed her up to be a little angel, and I was content with just working in the green room with all of the little kids. And one day the director came up to me and said, hey, we need an adult angel to lead these 30 little kids down the aisle to the heaven scene. Would you be that angel? And I said, okay, I can do that. And that was the start of a journey as an adult actor. I went ahead and after that play, she asked me to be on the traveling drama team. And for 10 to 11 years, I worked in the ministry with this traveling drama team, doing a lot of improv. A couple times the pastor would be speaking, and during his sermon, I would be actually dramatizing what he was actually saying in his sermon. And then at the very end, the 11th year, I actually played the lead role in this 200 cast member play. And at that moment, the Lord told me I needed to get out from the 4 walls of the church and get into film and commercial. And that was 15 years ago.
Wow.
And I started doing training and whatever. And I say all that to say that I believe in that verse that says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he won't depart from it. And I was raised that when we train our children with Bible stories and memorization and just that lifestyle, that they won't depart from it when they get old. However, the Lord showed me that it's actually also train up a child in the bent that they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart. And I believe that my dad, without him even knowing, was training me in the bent that I should go in, which is entertainment and public speaking and motivating. And that's kind of my story. And so that's what I've been doing.
I shared this with another guest the other day, but I heard someone say, God doesn't always call the equipped, but he does equip who he calls. And
Yes.
so sometimes we think, I can't do this. And God says, well, I didn't say you could. I said, I called you, and I'll take care of the equipping part of it. So, and we have to do our work too, to be due diligent and know our trade as well. But God does do the calling, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. So I give my dad a lot of credit for that, and he didn't even know what he was doing, I don't think.
This has been some very challenging times that we're living in. What are some life lessons and things that the message God has told you through this whole time?
To stay focused on him, dig deep, get your heels in the word. Don't worry about what other people are doing, but worry about my relationship with him. And it goes up, up, and then he'll spread it out and expand. And also, too, he's um, really working with me on not comparing myself to other people's journey, but to remain steadfast in what he's asked me to do. And when I was teaching my last class this with some newer actors, and I left them with this message: to be a monkey. What that means is, we look at the species of the monkeys, we see all kinds of different monkeys. Have hair that's sprinkling out, some are, all of them just look so different. And when we look at that and say, be ourselves. There's no one in this world that can be Anita. There's no one in this world that can be someone else. It's me. And to embrace who I am, embrace who God's made me, and just be that unique monkey out there for him.
And God has different gifts for each and every one of us. I mean, it's just amazing. When you see it, I was telling you, I have 8 grandchildren. I have 2 kids, but each one of our kids are much different, and our kids certainly are a world of a difference between the 2 of them. But God's got a call and a gift for each and every one of them, and the talents that they use. And he's given us our heart. He's given our gift. It's God knows your heart. It's up to us to hear his voice. And so now, God, what do you want us to do with what you've given us? Is I think the big question that God's challenging each and every one of us, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
Good. Well, Anita, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down below, I'm going to put your websites and some of your accomplishments and things that you've done in some of your bios. You've done tons of commercials. I see you've done a lot of commercials, and you have other projects that you have done and you're working on. And I want folks to keep track of you, see how you're doing, and watch your movies, watch your projects. But more important than that, when they see you and see your name, I want them to lift you up in prayer, that God would continue to use you in the industry that he's put you in.
Yes, I receive that. I receive that.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Is there any closing thoughts in the last minute and a half, any thoughts that you have?
Um, well, you can keep track of a movie called Don't Say My Name. I am Dr. Jill in that. That is actually premiering at the International Christian Film Festival in May.
Okay.
So you can watch out for that. And then I've got a couple other exciting announcements coming up, but you can also go look at my nonprofit page. I'll be producing and directing a couple projects there. It's called iwillriseproject.com, dealing with social injustices around our country and bringing those things to video and film.
Great. Sounds like you got a lot of great things in the makings and that you're working on. So a lot for us to pray for you about, isn't it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I will
Thank
take
you.
it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being my special guest today. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us in Morning Moments. I'm going to ask you to do one more thing. Look at this interview, and if you see somebody that you feel that needs it, put it on your Facebook page, share it, send this interview in a message, either through Facebook or through the YouTube interview. Share it to others so others can hear this message from this beautiful woman, a beautiful Christian, and that has a beautiful calling that God has given her. Thank you again so much, Anita.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, and keep coming back for some more morning moments.